All right, guys, so what is good? So on this one, I want to discuss more about, brand collaborations, doing them paid, unpaid, getting all these free samples, and really touch on this topic because with all these recent changes with the Amazon policies, where basically we are going to be gaining no commissions whatsoever from Halo sales on both on-site and creator connection campaigns. Now more than ever, I do feel like you have to be more strategic and more specific with what products you guys are actually going to take, especially when you receive these collaborations from email, social media, creator connections. I mean, you're kind of requesting them yourself, so that's kind of expected not to be paid for them. But, like I said, we'll just break it all down. Now, if you don't know, I've been in the Amazon influencer program for about over 2 years now. And in that time, I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot. So if you want to learn a thing or two about this program itself, be sure to hit that subscribe button down there. Hit the notification. So like that, you get all the notifications on the latest updates with the Amazon influencer program. Now, like I mentioned, when it comes to these brand collaborations, there's always been this debate between, you should only do paid collabs, because if you're not getting paid for it, then you're just wasting your time, and then you're having all these brands expect you and every other influencer to do them for free. And then there's the other side that says, well, I get so many free products, I could just resell them, all this and that. Now, look, before all these changes, neither one I would say was better or worse than the other, all right? In fact, they were about just as equal. It just really depended on what type of products you're receiving, what type of products you're reviewing, and all this and that, right? Because at the end of the day, we all run our businesses very different from each other. So, you just got to do what you personally feels good for you. But let me just say, with these new policy changes, I mean, honestly, I'm going to have to lean more into the side that you should be getting paid for your collaborations moving forward, okay? And I say that because back then, I wouldn't mind doing some free product samples too, right? Especially if they were like higher ticket items. And that's probably the only one exception that I will exclude, is if they're more on the high ticket side. So when I mean by high ticket, I mean the product has to be valued at least $100 or more, okay? Anything less than 100, it really depends. So for example, the other day, I have a brand right now that's trying to send me it's like a huge AC conditioner unit that you can just move around into the room. So I guess if your in-house AC isn't working, you have that option. And so that product alone is about $240. And they reached out to me through email. Now originally I charge whenever I get these type of products through email, but for something like that, I'm willing to do it for free, simply because once I review it, well, for one, it's going to be higher commission, from Amazon, and then it has a creator campaign to it. And that's another thing too, is that when you're reviewing some of these products, you want to make sure that they have creator campaigns attached to them, because making just commission from the on-site aspect, it's going to be very low. Even with the high ticket item like that, I might only make like $4 max per each unit that I'm selling, which means I'm going to need to sell like at least 50 units of that just to even make up for what that product is worth, right? And depending on how many units it sells a month, I might only just sell 2 units, a month, maybe 5 units, depending on what that volume looks like. So there's a lot of factors that go into that, right? And so, like I said, but even with that being said though too, right, it's like something like that, I am willing to take it, because I probably won't keep it. I might honestly just flip it back on Facebook and literally sell it for like $120. They lowball me to like 190, 80. I'll probably just take it. And, that turns a free collaboration into a paid collaboration, because then I'm able to resell that. Or another exemption too is if maybe you just want the product, okay? Like, for example, I know I've seen people get like free computer desks. That's actually a good one, because I got this free computer desk that I'm using right now for all my office stuff. I got that from TikTok from a brand. They wanted me to do a video for them or whatever. And this desk is like 150, $60 or something like that. So I was like, you know what? I need a new desk. I'm willing to take it, make the video, and then just, keep the product or whatever. So in those examples, that is perfectly fine. It makes sense if you want it, or if you you can resell it, okay? Now, where everything else isn't included in this is like stuff where you have to build it and you don't want it, or it's going to take you a lot of time. Like, for example, this computer desk. Just because I wanted it, I was willing to build it and set it up, okay? But on any other occasion, I am not the type of guy that likes to build, like physical stuff like this. I'm sorry, I'm just not that type of guy. I like to build businesses, just all this other stuff, build everything else, but actual tool stuff, okay? Now, I know how to do it, but I just hate to do it. Like I said, and unless I was getting this for free and I wanted it, I would have definitely charged a lot for this, okay? Yeah, sure. one can argue, well, it's a high ticket product, you should be willing to do it for free. And then it's like, no, bro. Like when you get to a certain point in your journey and you're really scaling up your storefront and you start realizing the value of your time, you have to put a price on that time at some point. Okay. Like this took me about maybe an hour and a half. Okay. And that means that that's a whole hour and a half that is being taken from me reviewing other products, doing other stuff that I want, spending time with my family, or really just anything that you can think of. Okay. And when you really start factoring that in, then you're like, well, damn, I should be getting paid to set something like this up, because now, that's time that you're just basically going to waste. Not to mention, let's say if the product is brand new, the listing doesn't have anything going on, it's maybe a week old, you don't know if that product's even going to take off. That's another thing too, is that I see all these influencers are taking all these samples. Oh yeah, I got 20 products at the door, blah blah blah. And it's like, dude, you don't know if most of them are even going to do any volume for you either. Okay. Like imagine putting a whole almost 2 hours into building this desk, or anything, right? I'm just using the desk as an example, and then months later you haven't made nothing from it. I mean, and then if you don't want the desk, and what if it's hard to sell too, then it's like, well, damn, now it's just sitting there, you put in that time for nothing, and you got nothing out of it except from a free desk that you probably didn't even want in the first place. And so it's like, well, you should have charged. And even if you do kind of want it sometimes, I mean, don't be afraid to ask to charge either. Like I said, only because I needed this disc, I was willing to take it. But sometimes even if I do want it a little bit, but I might even still charge, because it does take time regardless, And so that's not even including editing the video too, right? So it's one thing to build it, shoot content for it. And then if you want a high quality video, you're adding B-roll, you have to edit any clips that you messed up on, all these us, like just explaining it, if you're doing a voiceover for it. So now that video, like now that that would have taken an hour and a half, after editing, it might have taken 3 hours in total to complete the entire project. And so that's 3 hours of your time that you're putting into literally one item that you don't know if it's going to pay you. Okay. And so, like, at least if you charge, like, let's say $100 to set it up, at least for sure you got paid at least $30 something an hour doing it. Okay. So even if you don't make anything from commissions, you at least got paid up front for it. And so that's why I'm telling you guys, like, and especially with the way the program is going forward, like without getting any halo sales. And that was one of the only reasons why every once in a while I would take some samples for free or even take them for low pay, is because even if you don't directly make commission from the original item, there's a small percentage chance that you might make something from a halo sale off of it. But with that being gone now, like, you're really dependent on the one product itself. Okay, because without any halo sales now, what you're going to get out of it is what you're going to put into it. And so receiving all these low ticket items, free products, brand new items for free is just not a thing that I would go moving forward. Like if it's less than $100, the product value, I would not do it for free unless it moves a lot. Like those are just the only circumstances that I would advise that you could do it for free. Like let's say a bottle of supplements, right? There's tons of supplements that come into the game every single year, and some of them surprisingly move a lot. I'm talking about 5,000 units, 10,000 units. So in those scenarios, even if it's like a $10, $15 product or whatever, then yeah, sure, that might be worth doing for free and not charging, because then you can make it up long term, based on that volume, right? And not to mention, a lot of these supplements still have like creative campaigns. I mean, they'll be pretty high too. They'll be like 30% sometimes. So stuff like that, okay, yeah, screw it. And not to mention, reviewing a supplement, it's only going to take like maybe 3 minutes max, depending on what all you're trying to describe, what you're trying to do in that video. And so something like that, it makes total sense to take it and just, wait for that long-term payment to come, when you're making those commissions from creator connections. But everything else, bro, like, no, like just, it's not worth it, like, especially if it has no volume, it's a new listing. I mean, like, for example, the supplements that I just mentioned, if those didn't have any volume, like it didn't move at least those 2,000, 5,000 units a month, even though it's a cheap product, it's still not worth it. Because again, you're just relying on basically Amazon or the listing to take off, and you just can't predict that. Okay. And then sure, it might have taken 3 minutes or whatever to do, But at the same time, that's cutting time into your workflow. You know, that's cutting time that you could be spending looking for products that are going to pay you, or doing, you know, stuff that you're already backed up on. Like me at this point, I'm receiving products at least 2, 3, 5 times a day. Like, that is insane. And that is me cutting down on receiving so many products. I'm just getting paid for a lot of these at this point, to where I'm okay with that. Okay, like right now, I literally just finished shooting 4 different products from one single seller agent from Instagram. Now, normally I would charge them way more than when I'm charging them, but they offer me $20 for each, but I'm doing like 4 of them, so that's like $80. I mean, 3 of the videos took me like 2 minutes each to do, like 6 minutes in total. One of them took me about 4 minutes just because it required a little bit, you know, more describing it. But even then, our total time to record these was like 10 minutes probably or so. Even after editing and whatnot, and then uploading, I mean, I'll probably put in like 30 minutes of work just to do everything. Like, so that to me makes sense. $80 for 30 minutes of, you know, worth of my time. That makes sense, because I am not making $80, you know, per hour even at any job. So you just gotta weigh those pros and cons and decide what's good for you. Okay, so really, to break it down, you need to be paid upfront pretty nicely. You need to make it up in either commissions long term, or you need to be able to resell the product at an appropriate value, and then just decide, you know, what's going to work for you. But just please don't work for free, especially with some of these low ticket items. Like, I get it, you can add it to your storefront, feels cool to receive these products, but when you start receiving too many products that don't pay you and they're just taking up space and time, yeah, man, it's just not the move. Especially if you want to see your commissions going higher and higher. Like, getting free products that don't move, it's just not going to move that needle. Okay, so don't be fooled by some of these other influencers, all these gurus who, you know, they're preaching they receive 20 products a day or whatever. Like, yeah, sure, it may look cool, but if you really want to make money, yeah, don't take so many. All right, especially if you're in like a platinum or gold status on your Amazon account, like, you are already experienced, you should not be doing this shit for free, bro. Now, if you're more on the brand new side, it might make sense to take a few free ones just to get your feet wet. But after a while, yeah, you need to stop that shit. And also, one last thing too is that, you know, you accept these products, you do these samples, you're working with these brands. You know, one thing you never want to do is also give your original video file, unless you know, came on to an agreement with that brand beforehand. And, you know, like, just don't give it to them for free, because you should be charging for the original file. Because I will see this in a lot of groups where they're like, hey, this reseller gave us a free product, they gave us a sample, we did the video, and then they responded with that they want to use some of the footage for older social media handles, and basically that's them wanting you to give them the video file for free so they can promote it. And it's like, no, you need to charge for that file at minimum $250, 200 if you desperately need the money, but anything less, I mean, yeah, you're really selling yourself short, because these brands, they will make a lot of money from your video, and you want at least a piece of that pie for yourself. Okay, because, bro, it just amazes me how much people give away their video files, or they sell them for so cheap, like $20-$30. Like, bro, no. Like, they will use these videos for life, they will own the rights to them, they can do whatever. You need to charge them, and they will pay. If they have the funds, which a lot of them do, they will pay. Okay, so don't be afraid to do it. And if they don't agree to terms with your payment, or, you know, how much you charge, then just stand down and move on to the next one, because there will be brands that will pay. All right, so just saying, you know, you gotta know when to put your foot down, stand your ground, and really just show these brands that, hey, look, we get it, but we also got bills to pay, and, you know, a lot going on, right? Especially with these policies now, where you're not gonna be making any halo sales. Like, bro, more than ever, just be more strategic, be more strict, and actually get paid. Okay, because no halo sales is not gonna get you paid. Free products, high chance they're not gonna get you paid, even if you know, like, just don't do it. All right, so, but yeah, anyways, that's just my little rant. Hopefully you found some value in this video. If you have different opinions from what I said, you have, you know, just something you want to add on to this, feel free to drop it down there in that comment section below. Would love to hear what you guys have to say. But with that being said, I am out. Peace, and I'll see you on the next one.